First off, the movie's badass. I love it. I saw it last night, and I still feel the wind burn on my cheeks. So it was great. Damson, the Top Gun Maverick cast told me that they all came out of that film feeling like full-blown adrenaline junkies. So after driving an F1 car, are you like officially addicted to speed?
No, I went and bought a Prius, and I drive 20 miles per hour. No, I am. Just the whole process was the most exhilarating thing in the world. And it's so freeing to drive at those speeds. So I'm trying to figure out how to legally
do it.
Go to a track.
Yeah, exactly.
I had the opposite experience. I drove a McLaren on a racetrack one time and about shit my pants. Never want to do that ever again. I was like, that's enough for me.
Was you driving?
And I actually bought a Prius after that. I really did. I was like, yep.
Shout out to Prius. Riley and Prius.
Now, you know, Javier, not a lot of guys can say they've taken a celebratory champagne shower with Brad Pitt.
On the podium in Abu Dhabi.
That sounds wild.
With fireworks exploding.
It was beautiful.
It was beautiful.
I was like,
I
what
fell immediately in love with
experience.
it. It's like, really? Okay, we have to separate now.
Was that the moment in the script when you were like, I'm in?
No, yeah, well, it's not as well, yeah. No, the moment in the script where I said I'm in is when I have the long scene in Daytona. When the characters first met, I go, wow, that's a great scene to play with Brad. Yeah, I want to be able to do that with him. So.
Hell yeah!
And then the rest of the script was even better and better and better.
Did you have real champagne or was it apple juice? Because it was definitely
apple juice.
Yeah,
what? Oh no! Don't tell me that.
It's a Muslim country.
Champagne.
There's no alcohol. It's a Muslim country.
Yes, Abu Dhabi. Yeah. I know. I remember my face was so sticky.
It was sticky.
We're going to cut that right out. Now, F1 might be the most visceral racing movie ever made, but I want to know if you guys remember what racing movie or car chase scene is the one that made you feel like you were behind the wheel?
I suppose no, actually, I don't know. You go.
I mean, I don't know if it's a racing scene, but when the great late Heath Ledger was playing the Joker, and they weren't racing; they're just chasing his van, right? And he has the rocket launcher. I kind of felt like I was in that scene when Nolan was shooting that. Yeah,
that's a good one.
Not really racing.
No, it's still movement.
Now it's very outdated, but when I was little and I saw French Connection, there was a car chase there that I felt, because I was little, I was like, wow, that's brutal. And now it's absolutely outdated. But at the time, it was very spectacular to see that.
Yeah, it's a classic.
Yeah.
It's a great one.
I don't know, it probably was one of the James Bond movies. I don't know which one, but all I remember is they go through a real narrow thing and doesn't the car that's chasing them get stuck in the narrow thing. Was that James Bond? Who knows? But you know what I'm talking about.
I remember that scene.
And then I was like, how they couldn't get out of the car either. Because they were stuck in the little alleyway. The baddies couldn't get out.
I love it that you call them baddies.
For me,
I've never seen a James Bond movie.
Remember? Never? Oh, what? That's crazy. I've only been in.
I did one. How come not?
Everyone's eyes just went really big.
Now, one thing I wanted to ask you guys about, F1 is like such a team sport, but at the end of the day, you know, it's the driver who crosses the finish line or crashes, and I feel like acting is very similar because you guys have this like incredible crew around you and supporting you, you know, behind the scenes, but you guys are the ones that are in front of the camera, so did you at all feel that parallel while making this film?
Wow.
That's a good one. I think I don't know, maybe.
I think this was probably the job where I felt it was most a team, where I didn't feel like it was just all on you, Kerry, good luck, because we were all under pressure to perform, because we were shooting a lot of it live. So the camera department had to be in focus and line it up perfectly as we were acting. So everyone had to be good at the same time, you know. So it was kind of a big group effort, more so than any other movie I've been on, I think.
Yeah, it's funny being behind the wheel. So much goes into it before you take off, you know. And of course, we need to get these shots, and you know, Joe's in the editing bit, and he's like panning cameras. So I guess there's someone who's adding to that. But yeah, you better not crash, Damson.
Yeah, it's going to cost money. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah. And you know, we'd have 5 to 10 minutes to get these shots. Sometimes you get in a car, you sign your papers, they set the lighting up, you know, everything's perfect. all the other teams are waiting for you to take off, and then of course Damson occasionally stalls. It's like, all right, action!
Oh no!
That happened to me in Belgium.
Thank God that they wouldn't see you go red though, because the helmet. Because
I was just hiding underneath it.
It's appropriate that today's Father's Day too, because I feel like this is a movie my dad would have loved. Like,
Oh,
it's so
good.
badass, man. I love the movie. I can't wait to take my son to see it. There's this through line, I feel like, from Top Gun Maverick to F1, this sort of myth making about these older legends that are like proving they still have it.
Yeah.
I wanted to know what attracts you to that narrative.
Well, you know, I always wanted to work with Brad. You know, he was definitely, he's on the Mount Rushmore, you know, of actors that I want to work with. And so I knew he was interested in racing. And when I kind of came up with the idea of wanting to tell a story in this world, he was at the top of the list. So then it's about coming up with a story that feels kind of authentic to who he is, you know, kind of crafting a character for him. And I don't think, I mean, when people see it, I think they'll see why Brad Pitt makes the perfect Sonny Hayes.
Yeah, he's fantastic. And I mean, he's great in everything that he does.
Yeah,
but
that's true.
he's really great in this. F1, it might be the most visceral racing movie ever made. I mean, I could just feel the wind burn on my cheeks. But before this, do you remember what the first racing movie or chase scene was that made you feel like you were behind the wheel?
The first chase scene. I mean, the first action movie I kind of remember seeing is Raiders. I think I was like 6 or 7. And there is that great scene where Indy's kind of climbing on the outside of that truck.
Yeah.
And that amazing stunt. So that's when it comes to mind in terms of kind of action. But, you know, the touchstones in terms of racing films are Grand Prix, Frankenheimer, like 1966, which, you know, some of the imagery in that is still stunning to this day. Steve McQueen's Le Mans, that's another one. Both shot at real races, so certainly an inspiration for this.
Obviously, you put Brad and Damson in real race cars on set, but did you ever jump behind the wheel and give it a couple laps?
I didn't jump in the Apex car. You know, Apple, you know, wouldn't have been happy with me getting a race car while trying to shoot the movie. But one of the first things I did was I organized a track day with Brad and Lewis. So the three of us went out together, and it was really a way for Lewis to kind of see what Brad was like in a car, you know, because I think Lewis wasn't sure, you know, if it was possible to get an actor to drive one of these cars. But when he saw Brad's just kind of natural ability behind the wheel, he thought it was possible.
Yeah, I drove a McLaren one time on a racetrack.
Yeah.
I shit my pants.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's awesome, but it was I'm okay with like never doing it again.
Oh, okay.
To me, F1 feels very much like the Rocky of racing movies as well, because also hotel mattress neck bridges way harder than they look. I tried it this morning.
Tried one this morning.
I tried one this morning. I was like, God, that's hard. And I wanted to ask about that. You know, how intentional was it to show Sonny having these like these very rugged nomadic style workouts? You know, opposed to the JP's workouts in the film where they're very science-based.
Well, Sonny is, you know, he was a Formula One phenom in the 1990s. That's our story. So his methods are a little more old school. And, you know, a lot of those exercises came from Lewis himself, where, you know, if he doesn't have the gym handy, you know, he is in a hotel room somewhere and he's got to be able to kind of keep his fitness level up, you know, what you would do. So I like that idea of kind of contrasting Sonny and JP in that sequence and kind of showing how they come at it from, you know, different angles.
Yeah, I love that. Even the pull-ups in the van, where where you see he's just making do because he's like having to turn his head because there's not enough room.
Yep.
Also, Brad's got all these sporadic tattoos in the film. They feel kind of random at first glance, but then as you zero in on them, you know, there's a little bit. They feel less random. There's like a purpose there. And I wanted to know, did you and Brad workshop those tattoos together, and were they part of Sonny's backstory, or is it just kind of a part of the chaos of the character?
No, Brad, you know, when you work with someone like Brad, it's going to be a collaboration. So each one of those, we spent many hours, days going through tattoos and making sure they all have meaning, purpose, that there's a story behind every one. Even if it's not explicitly stated in the film, it's, you know, Brad has it in his mind as we did that, so he can kind of build that character, and that was part of his process, which is fascinating.
Do you have a favorite backstory for one of the tattoos in the film that you see?
I mean, one you'll see is he has a tattoo of a certain Formula One circuit that is not on the schedule anymore, but has significance in Sonny's history. So keep an eye out for that.
Well, thank you so much for your time, man. Like I said,
Thank you.
the movie's awesome.
Awesome.
I appreciate it.